All right, it is time for the World Cup of Day Trading for 2024. The competition goes from January 1st through the end of the year, and I'm excited to be joining it. It is a live account, meaning real money competition. Every person who enters must put in $10,000 for the account minimum, and then they third party host everything. Obviously, you're running through their live accounts. So we're gonna go and dive into the pros and cons of the competition, why I'm doing it. I'm gonna show you how I'm planning on being transparent and how you cannot be transparent in this competition. And yeah, we're gonna go and dive into it. So current standings are here. You can go to worldcuptradingchampionships.com in order to see the current standings and to see it play by play. There are a couple different challenges. The one that I am doing is this one, which will be here when 2024 starts on the leaderboard. So right now it's 2023, it'll be 2024, the one that goes from January 1st through the end of the year. Currently, leaders, they only show top 5 on the leaderboard, so something to note there. They only show top 5, and nothing too crazy. 487% is good. I think that there would be a lot higher percentages here if they offered better margins. So let's go ahead and dive into a couple of things. A couple of the downsides of doing this account is that they only show, or of doing Robbins, is that they only show 5 leaderboards positions. So you don't get to see how many times someone entered the account. You can enter in as many times as you want, as many $10,000 accounts as you want to put in here and blow in here, you can. And there's no transparency there for, you know, influencers, trader people online who are saying like, I'm doing Robbins, but you didn't know that they actually put in like 10 different $100,000 accounts and they're just lotto tossing them, right? In order to make the leaderboard. You never know that. So the way that I'm planning on kind of combating that, because that is a downside. The other big downside is commissions and margins, which we'll talk about in a second. But for transparency's sake, I'm showing my account being E4183. I'm doing it through Dorman. Edge Clear helped me set it up. So that's why you see the Edge Clear here, but I'm doing it through Dorman. It's E4183. When I log into Sierra chart here, I can actually go to balances, and you see that the account that I'm on is E4183. And then like even like my trade bar here, E4183. So the reason I'm saying that is so that at the very end of the year, if I am on the leaderboard and you see that I'm up X amount of money, well, you should know that I'm starting with $10,000 on E4183. In my opinion, and this goes for me and it goes for anybody else, I think, who's entering the challenge, if you win, you should show that this is now at $20,000 and that the account is the same, right? Just a slight preference there because I think that there is some weird, like potentially room for some weirdness. But overall, I mean, it's a live money account challenge. I think that's good. It shows that you know how to manage your money and trade in some capacity. So there you go. That's my E4183. The downsides of the Robbins is 100% the commissions and the margin requirements. It's very expensive, and that's how Robbins makes their money on this whole thing. In order to host the challenge is that you're paying a lot in commissions, like a lot. Like normally, normal commissions will be less than 1 tick on the NQ in order to pay for the whole round trip. On this one, it's $10 for all futures contracts, $3 for each micro. So that's very expensive for micros, like very expensive for micros, plus the fees, which is $2.50 and $2. So no matter what, if you get into one trade, you need to make 3 ticks of profit in order to make 50 cents. So $15 on the Nasdaq makes you 50 cents because it is a $14.50 transaction commissions in order to get in and out of the trade. The second part that sucks is the margin requirements are 50% of the initial margin for US indices and 100% for all others. So that means me as a Nasdaq trader, the CME just raised their initial margin. So now the initial margins are actually $19,470. Some simple math there, 19,470 divided by 50%, right? So divided by 2, $9,735. So my initial balance on the account is $10,000. As we know, I just showed you that. That means I do not have hardly any wiggle room at all on this account, which is very challenging in order for me to trade one mini. And in order to trade 2 minis, I got to get up to, you know, almost 100% gain on the account in order to even trade 2 minis. So that is challenging for sure. That's a lot of Nasdaq points. We're all very blessed to have intraday margins on most brokers these days because this is crazy. I mean, I'm just looking at the Trade-Evate Ninja Trader margins here. So the initial margin 19,470, but intraday it's $1,000, which is much more reasonable. For the 2024 quarterly challenges, or for the 23 quarterly challenges, you see it right here, 2023 fourth quarter day trading challenges. They actually have margins at like $2,500 a contract, which I think is much more reasonable. And I even emailed them asking like, what's up with that, because now that the margins are so much, like we're going to be almost, you take one losing trade of 15 points and you're immediately put into micros on the Nasdaq, which sucks. If you lose 15 points and all of a sudden you're forced to move into micros, you're paying a lot of money for each trade, because 10 micros equal the same price movement as one mini. So you're either paying $30 or $10. $30 to be able to scale in and out on micros, or $10 for minis. It's just a lot of money. It adds up very quickly. It sucks. So for me, my strategy moving forward is base hits very quickly. And very, very high probability setups, because I don't want to be forced into trading micros. I need to be able to create a buffer. Hopefully I can get to a spot where, I get up like 20 to 100 points, 20, 50, 100 points on the Nasdaq as a buffer, where I can start like kind of playing around a little bit more with trades. But you got to have that buffer, because if you get forced into micros, it's almost not worth doing it. And I think that's probably where I will call myself a blown account, realistically, because I don't want to pay $30 or $24 to trade 8 micros. That just doesn't make any sense. It's very hard to trade, and it's a losing formula in my opinion. So if I don't start out perfectly, I probably will call this thing blown, and just take my $9,500 and just lose $500 on the whole experience and call it a day there. But hopefully I can get some buffer to where we can wiggle and move in the right direction without being forced into micros. If I'm forced into micros, I'm not going to trade this thing, and I'll just call it what it is. And I lose $500. So why are you doing this, Matt? You're having to pay crazy commissions and terrible margins. It's just for fun. I'm still going to be trading other accounts. I want everybody to know that I'm not going to be trading this thing every single day. I really need to be very specific about what I'm trading with it in order to get that buffer and that wiggle room. But it's really just for fun. It's like bragging rights in a way. You get a little trophy. Who cares about the trophy? You could buy that yourself if you wanted to off eBay probably, but like you get a little trophy. It's just bragging rights. And I think at the end of the day, it's also just like a good thing for the industry as a whole to be more transparent in some capacity, because I think there's a lot of, we all know there's a bunch of sim traders out there, etc. And if your guru or whatever refuses to do a $10,000 challenge, like, I don't know, you take that what you will. For me, it's just a step into making the industry a little bit better. And I think that the challenge 100% has a lot of working, like a lot of room to make this a lot better. But again, I just think it's kind of fun. It's a fun thing to do to start the year off, have an extra little account to trade while I'm trading other accounts. So I will tell you when I'm streaming it, or if it's, a trade in my recaps at my Trades by Matt recaps channel, I'll tell you if it's a Robbins trade or not. I'm not planning on streaming every single trade, because if there's a setup that I want to take and it's not streaming at the time, well, I'm going to take the setup. So, but yeah, hopefully I can get on the leaderboard and stay up there, and we'll see what happens. If there's someone that you want to see in the challenge who you think is going to win it, go beg them and push them to do it. I think it's good for the industry. I'll keep you updated as the year progresses. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.